How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MULN and as well as for Polestar. MULN showed a lot of strength inside of the markets, and Polestar is continuing to show some weakness. We'll talk about that inside of the video, but I want to let you know, if you're new to this channel, we do have timestamps down below inside the description. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, short interest information, taking a look at the charts and the price levels you want to look out for this week. And then afterwards, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into that right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart from MULN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 66 cents, being up 6.20%. On the low, it tested 60 cents, and then on the high, testing 69 cents. And we could also see in the after hours at the time of this recording at 4:25 p.m. EST, it is at 67 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 100.21 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 81.983 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and we saw some strength in the stock, which is really good considering how the market conditions were. When we take a look at the price action, we can see that we are trading below our 50 EMA to 21 EMA, but guess what? We ended up closing right at the 9 EMA at 66 cents. If you remember what I've talked about in my previous videos, this is exactly what you want to see. So we ended up seeing a high at 69 cents. So we want to go back to that 70-cent range and test that 21 EMA, which is at 73 cents. In the past, the 21 EMA has served as an area of resistance, so this is a level you're going to want to keep on very close watch. And taking into consideration the low of the day at 60 cents, you want to see a higher low. So whether that comes in at 62 or 63, that makes MULN continue to be bullish, even if it doesn't have a break over 72 cents. So I want to make sure you guys add that to your homework as well. And if we move up further and past that 21 EMA, I can see MULN wanting to go to 75 cents, and then we want to see what it would do from there, because that does open the door to 77 and so forth. So let's see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information from MULN. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the filings for September the 6th, you see we don't have any new or closed positions, but we have IFP Advisors Inc. that purchased 2,000 shares, and the value change is 0. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 51.75%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 26.86 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 600,000, updated just now, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 16.08%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the first, it was at 56.14, and then for the close of the second, being at 51.75. So it did go down quite a bit, and then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 15.24%, MULN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So we're going to take a look at Polestar. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.55, being down 3.53%. On the low, it tested $6.17, and then on the high, testing $6.85. And in the after hours at the time of this recording, which is at 4:29 p.m. EST, it is trading at $6.61. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 4.347 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 2.087 million shares. So you can see we had above average volume on the day, but we dealt with a good amount of selling. When we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can clearly see it is looking very bearish. Not only is it trading below all of our major moving averages, but we are seeing a continuation of lower highs and as well as lower lows. So we ended up getting down to $6.17. And if you guys remember what I said in my previous videos, when stocks break through their 52-week lows, there's no telling where it could go. So seeing that it tested $6.17, I would be very curious to see if it can test $6 right on the dot for this week. It is very doable. So one of the things that you want to see as a bull for a turnaround around is it defending not only $6, but wanting to make a move going back to $7. If we can come back to $7 and then try to reclaim the 9 EMA at $7.53, that's where this play really starts looking interesting, and then we want to see what it would do from there. Another thing to take into consideration, we could see from our stochastics down below, it is looking pretty beat up, so I'm looking for buyers wanting to step in, and getting that move to $7 is definitely not out of the question for this coming week. So please add that to your notes as well. But if we end up having a rejection, if we try to make that test back to $7, we will go back to make another low, and I know for a fact it will be below this 617 level that we tested on today. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for Polestar. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 55.32%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is at 645,411 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated just now. And then for the short borrow fee rate, we have the latest being at 178.59%, with the high of the day being at 186.66%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the first, it is at 60.80. And then for the close of the second, being at 55.32. So that is a significant decrease right there. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float, being at 7.26%, and also taking a look at the short borrow fees, this play does continue to have short squeeze potential.
So for my final thoughts for Polestar and as well as for MULN, let's start off with MULN. So we had MULN showing a lot of strength. I wanted to see it gain some momentum above 70 cents. We know that's a key area, and where we want to see that test going to 73 cents, which is right where we have the 21 EMA. I talked about the emphasis of us showing some strength above the 9 EMA, and that's exactly what we did today, and we closed right on it. So it's definitely looking bullish, and knowing that we tested a low at 60 cents, what you want to see going into tomorrow is MULN forming a higher low. Even if it can't make a move to 75 cents, which is what I want to see, as long as we get that higher low, it still makes the play bullish, so add that to your homework. Now let's talk about Polestar. Like I've been saying in my previous videos, it is continuing to make 52-week lows. It is trying to find some support. So I know a lot of people are frustrated about that, but in my personal opinion, if you are an investor doing your homework, doing your due diligence, you should have a good idea of what price you want to buy this stock at. From what I'm seeing so far, there's a strong likelihood we can have a test going down to $6. I know many people are not going to want to hear that, but hey, we are in a volatile month of September. Many stocks tend to pull back, especially when we talk about growth stocks and the ones who are not profitable. And knowing that Polestar is one of them, and as well as for MULN, if you see pullbacks in these plays, I don't want you to be surprised whatsoever. So for Polestar, I look at the current price of where it's trading at as an opportunity, but don't buy because I said that. Buy because you did your homework and you're confident about the stock. I want to make sure that I emphasize this because we're going to be experiencing a lot of volatility, and I want to make sure that you have a strategy to get yourself through it. We also have to take into consideration of what's happening outside of the stock market. We have the US dollar that is continuing to show strength. We also have the 10-year treasury yield that is continuing to spike up. And then we also have IWM, which is pulling back. And we know that IWM represents the small and mid-cap stocks. So if we see that there's a lot of selling, what is this telling us about the market? That it is risk off. So these companies who are not consistently profitable and are going to be needing money in order to grow the business and expand their operations, they end up becoming less attractive. So that is why, as far as the conditions we have inside of the markets, you shouldn't be shocked about it whatsoever. Go out there, educate yourself, see what is going on, and I know for a fact once you get all of this knowledge, you'll be able to look at the market in a completely different lens. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will continue to keep you guys updated for these plays as well. We'll talk soon.